Let's hear another one in that 25 to 40 range you think is a safe bet to outkick ADP.
So someone who isn't as safe as a bet, I wouldn't say, to outkick their ADP. Actually, a safe bet to outkick their ADP, but I don't think he's necessarily a safe bet this season in fantasy football. It's CeeDee Lamb. Right now, he's being drafted as the wide receiver 40, and I do not see a scenario where he is not at least a top 40 wide receiver. Now, with CeeDee Lamb, I think there's a reasonable scenario where maybe you draft him and you don't use him for half the season, or he doesn't ever really produce to get in your lineup consistently. But even with that being the case, he could still outkick his ADP. But with CeeDee, I just think there's so much upside for him as a prospect and him in this Cowboys offense. He's an incredible rookie talent, first of all. He was my favorite wide receiver in the class. He somehow fell to 17th overall with the Dallas Cowboys, and he was just too good of a prospect for him for Jerry to pass up. So, you can literally get him as your wide receiver 4 right now in fantasy football. So for me, that's low risk. It's totally low risk. You're taking him almost in double-digit rounds, and it's incredibly high reward for someone as talented as CeeDee Lamb in an explosive offense like Dallas. And there should be plenty of volume available behind Cooper, behind Gallup. I mean, there were 166 targets last season between Jason Witten and Randall Cobb, who are both gone. And something that I'm the most excited about with this Cowboys offense is their use of the 11 personnel. In 11 personnel, you have 3 wide receivers on the field. And last season, Dallas had 3 receivers on the field 2/3 of the time. And in Mike McCarthy's last season in Green Bay, he had at least 3 wide receivers on the field more than 2/3 of the time. So I think there's a pretty safe bet this season in Dallas. We are going to see plenty of CeeDee Lamb, and we could see a lot of him in the slot as well, taking over that Randall Cobb role. And Cobb actually did have a pretty valuable role last season. He played 69% of snaps. He had 55 yards a game, which isn't taking the top off for fantasy, but he was productive. And I think we can all agree that CeeDee Lamb is a better football player at this point in his career than Randall Cobb is. CeeDee, he produced in the slot at Oklahoma last season. I think I just read a report, actually, that he's going to be moving in and out of the slot in Dallas. So that should utilize his skill set really well, because at Oklahoma, about half of his production came in the slot and about half was out wide. So I think CeeDee is going to slide into this offense very seamlessly. And with his skill set, he broke more tackles than any other FBS wide receiver last season. Damn. And he had over 20 yards per catch. So he's explosive. I think his skill set is going to be very, very good in this offense. And not that player profile comps are everything, but his comp on player profile is Jerry Rice. So the sky is the limit for CeeDee Lamb. Not saying he is going to be Jerry Rice, but
I'm surprised you threw that out praise.
There. That is high praise.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, I see CeeDee as being like a Deebo Samuel type of guy, where he has tons of utility in the offense. You can put him out wide. You can put him in the slot.
I think the volume is going to be way higher, though. That's the thing. Deebo was good last year. I think CeeDee's going to be similar with more volume. That's the scary thing with CeeDee Lamb.
I want to jump over to my player real quick, because it's all kind of weaved together, and it's funny. I didn't actually see that you had CeeDee as your second pick, because mine is Michael Gallup, the other Cowboys wide receiver.
Is that why you were laughing during my take?
Well, that and the Jerry Rice comp. But, I mean, I have Gallup at wide receiver 27 in my rankings. Right now in ADPs, the wide receiver 36. And finished as the wide receiver 23 last season. I like him as a wide receiver 2 or flex. And the whole case for Gallup comes down to this Cowboys offense. And essentially your bet here is that CeeDee Lamb is going to have a delayed breakout, because he's going to be insane. But we talked about time and time again how all 3 Cowboys receivers can be productive this year. If Dak, like some people believe, if he can throw for another 4,900 yards, 600 pass attempts, I don't see any reason why all of the pass-catching weapons in Dallas don't have value at various points throughout the season. I have Dak projected for a little bit less than what he did last year, but with downgrades to their secondary on defense, the supposed improvement of the offense with the new coach and the new weapons, we could see Dak easily outperform that 2019 on the hunt for this new contract. Michael Gallup he's prone to being a little bit more boom bust, which is why he's in this 25 to 40 range, but there's just so much to like with Gallup, who should only improve in his 3rd year in the league.
He's good. He's legitimately a good player. If you watch his tape, I'm working on a Cowboys film room right now that's actually going to talk about Cooper, Gallup, and what I expect CeeDee Lamb to do with Randall Cobb's role. And some of the plays Gallup made last season were just jaw-dropping, not only getting the ball near the line of scrimmage and making guys miss, but even making plays on the football down the field, Gallup's legitimately a very good football player who can do it all. That's important as well.
He was 7th in yards per reception with almost 17 yards per reception. He was pretty safe from a receiving yards per game perspective. He had 79 yards per game. That was 6th in the NFL. To me, he's a safe guy that also has a ton of upside. He only scored single digits 4 times. In 2 of those games, he had 9 points. So he's right there. So even if on the weeks that he does burn you, you're going to be all right for a guy that you're plugging in at a flex and getting as late as the wide receiver 36. I could almost see the volume exploding even further for Gallup. He was utilized heavily as a field stretcher. I think some of that will continue. I actually think he'll get pushed more into that field stretcher role with CeeDee Lamb there, being able to be effective underneath and near the line of scrimmage. He did lead the league in drops. He's going to have to clean that up a bit to fend off CeeDee, but that's the bet that you're taking here. And if there's ever going to be a year for veterans to hold off rookies, it's 2020 with the shortened offseason. The schedule is so good for the Cowboys. 11th best schedule against the pass based on 2019 defenses. They start the year with the Rams, Falcons, Seahawks, Browns, Giants, and Cardinals. And the best part, the icing on the cake, and this kind of makes both of our cases a little stronger. Amari Cooper is going to be the one taking the primary cornerback in all of these matchups. So you love to see that for these pass-catching weapons. We're very in, I think, this year, Alex, on the Dallas Cowboys.
Offense.
All their weapons.
Around.
Even
yeah,
Blake Jarwin,
absolutely.
like just everybody.
Yeah, give me all the Cowboys offense. And honestly, Steph, like, I have all 3 Cowboys receivers statted out for over 100 targets. I have Cooper at 129. Wow. Michael Gallup at 113, and CeeDee Lamb at 106. So I think there's plenty of volume for all 3 of these guys. I have Amari Cooper as a wide receiver 1. I have Michael Gallup as a wide receiver 3, and I have CeeDee Lamb as a low-end wide receiver 3. So I have all 3 guys as being very productive. And I've said it before on the show, it's a little bit of a hot take, but I think there's a very realistic situation where we see 3 Dallas Cowboy wide receivers in the top 30 at the position this season.
That'd be crazy. I mean, they were pretty close to that last year. You know, when all 3 were in the game, they finished in wide receiver 31 or better. So it could certainly happen if everything carries over or improves from 2019 to 2020.